Yo, what's up everyone? Johnny here. Um yeah, things have been continued to get interesting recently. I don't know. I don't want to stop making videos. It's fun. Um I don't know. I tell my coworkers and my family, people close to me about my videos and they sub to me and I do appreciate every one of them who do sub to me. But I really just want to emphasize how grateful I am because life is hard, and some of my friends and some of my coworkers really don't understand. To be honest, how I know we don't talk as much. I don't. I know we're not always hanging out. We're not always playing the game. But you really gotta stop and think about what's important to you sometimes. And the only reason why I'm working where I'm working at still is because of my coworkers. And I really just wanted to point that out in this video that I don't know where I would be without my friends and my coworkers. And you know what? I'm just gonna stop saying coworkers. They're my friends as well. My buddies. We have a massive Discord we're all in. I used to play a lot more often with them when I wasn't a father. When I didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities. But I still try to here and there. Or here and there. They've been playing a lot of Rust. Rust seems to be pretty popular. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people have been talking about it, and the entirety of my Walmart Discord is playing Rust right now, and it's just it's cool and all. It's a game I can never really truly get into, honestly, but and I feel bad because a buddy of mine gifted me the game, and it just seemed like he really wanted me to play, but I do appreciate him. He's my goat. Um, but I did try it out, of course, for like a little bit. It's a interesting game for sure. It's just something I never was able to get into. I'm very niche when it comes to the games that I like Dark Tide, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide is an example. This game that I'm playing here, very niche. Surprisingly, not a lot of people know about it, and in my opinion, might be a bold statement because we got Back for Blood as well. But I personally would like to call this game the modern Left 4 Dead. You know, I feel like it's not exactly Left 4 Dead, same enemies, but it holds a lot of similarities. Like you're just surviving an onslaught of enemies, special enemies, bosses. Even they had the tank in Left 4 Dead, so they got bosses in this game. It's just like a super more modern, in-depth version of Left 4 Dead, like we're in set in the Warhammer universe, and it's pretty deep. They got builds. You can make builds. There's like I think like 7 characters or 6 characters now that you can choose from. They added 2 new classes, 2026 and 2025, I believe. So yeah, it's one game I would recommend. And as you can see, it's a really hectic game. So play with buddies if you, or even randoms is fine too. Preferably buddies if you decide to try it. Or you can comment in this video if you're interested in playing with me. Maybe we can run some up. But now that I got the intro out of the way, but what I wanted to talk about in the beginning, what I really want to talk about is introvertism. And I've suffered from social anxiety ever since I was a young jit, as some would say. Um, Even at family events, I was like super socially awkward. I didn't really want to talk to anyone. I was just like super nervous all the time, and it sucked honestly because well, as I said in my last video, I am not exactly, too. I don't really get along with my family too well anyway. But I feel like the reason why I was socially awkward around them is because we didn't get along. And I'll be honest, they didn't exactly try on their part to with me. They didn't try with me. They didn't really um, put much effort into getting to know me anyway. At least most of my family. Of course, there's some core members like some of my cousins and one auntie that I have who were there for me. They were watching my back. My grandpa was kind of a stick of the mud. Honestly, he was. I could tell he cared about me, but he was really strict about it. He was really tough love, basically. And I appreciate my grandpa, and I appreciate your family while they're here still. You know, you never know what can happen, and yeah. So this has caused a lot of problems for me in my life. Being an introvert. It was really hard for me to make friends for the longest time. Um, the only friends, honestly, that I feel like I could really click with was the stoners, you know, which is how I landed myself in the stoner category eventually. Um, these guys are just so cool, and they were nice, you know. A lot of people in school were really, really mean, and a guy like me, socially awkward, it was hard. It was really hard. At least for the entirety of elementary. I got bullied a lot in elementary. It was really bad. Um, and then that's when I met some stoner friends when I entered middle school, and they defended me. Seeing as the way I was, I would get bullied, or I was gonna get bullied. But they were really there for me. These stoner friends that I had were just like backing me up, man. They're really willing to go fist mode. Straight fucking cheaper town hall on these guys. I remember one time, there's this one guy who would always mess with me just because I was like a bigger fella, and he was always like, "What's up? What's up, Johnny? What's good with you, man?" Like, kind of trying to square up with me half the time. He's like, "What's good, bro?" And then push me around and stuff. But they would always come in and say, you know, leave my buddy alone, because they were cool with me, and they were the only people I really hung around because of that. I felt comfortable around them. And don't ever judge stoners, man. They're really cool, and they're chill for a reason. And so basically, yeah, they were defending me, willing to go toe to toe with this guy. He got in front of me and he was like, you're gonna have to go through me first if you want to fucking fight him. So I was trying to de-escalate, of course, because like that shit was just making me super nervous. I was like, hey, it's cool, bro. Like it didn't even bug me for real, even though it did bug me. I was fucking shivering my timbers, but it's okay though. So yeah, I'm stoner for the longest time. I don't really smoke as much anymore, and to be honest, smoking did help with my social anxiety. So if I were to make new friends or hang out somewhere, I would always have a Benjamin with me, because it really did help a lot. Um, and it kind of sucks for kind of like right now. I still suffer from a little bit of a social anxiety. I've definitely grown a lot since I was younger, but I still get it pretty bad sometimes. My girlfriend, whenever she wants to go somewhere or she go see family or do anything, honestly, it really is a pain in the butt for her, and I feel really bad because I never want to do it. I always want to be indoors. I like I said, introverted. I just never want to go out, and I think it's really bad. You know, um, you got to go out sometime. You need to make friends, and it's healthy. I know 2026 is really steering towards technology and AI and the future, basically. Everyone's indoors. DoorDash, Amazon, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, social media in general, streamers, everything is just online, you know, and I gotta take my own advice, honestly, before I start telling you guys anything. But yeah, honestly, it really does suck. And you know, sometimes my friends want to go out places or hang out at one of their houses, and for some reason, I just get this feeling like my stomach drops every time I have to do something, or like whenever someone wants to hang out in person, my stomach drops and I get this feeling, like this nervous feeling every time. And it's like, oh, I really don't want to go. You know, like I get nervous around people. I get nervous around big crowds. I don't really like going to events too much because of that. Um, I have always wanted to go to like Crunchyroll Expo or like an anime event of some sort, but or Comic Con, you know, as well. But I've just never done it. I could have done it a long time ago if I wanted to, but I just always kept pushing it. This is probably something a lot of my friends don't exactly know about me. I am seriously like introverted. I hate going out. Um, Even for like the basic necessities, sometimes I just hate going to the store, you know. And I think it's a product of my own fruition, you know. I did it to myself. I grew up like that. I didn't like being around anyone. I didn't have too much friends, you know. I did have of course, in high school, I met my set friends that I have right now still. My same little small friend group, which I keep my friend group really small for that reason, you know. People I can relate to. Um, except for my coworkers, like I said in the beginning of the video, I can relate to them as well. We're all the same age, and um, they understand, you know, for the most part. Sometimes they'll be like, you know, why didn't you go with this with us? Why don't you go do this? Why don't you hop on the game? And yeah, I really just be avoiding a lot of times. You know, I avoid confrontation too much, and it's something that I'm working on myself. Working on it, you know, to improve myself as a human being. And as I grow older, you know, the friends you make now will decide your future. You know, it's this is something I learned from this guy that I watch. Um, he's not on YouTube. I think he's very pretty niche content creator on TikTok. But the friends you make now will decide your future. You know, or how your life will plan out eventually. You know, so be careful who you choose to keep around you. You know, um, me, I like to keep a very small circle because honestly, it's hard to find people similar to me. You know, I'll be honest, I have a pretty I'm honestly pretty mid, you know. All I want to do is play the game half the time. All I do is play the game and make videos, or at least now I've been making videos recently. I was live streaming for the longest time, but decided to make videos now because I find it pretty fun and niche, you know, or not niche. That's not how I use that word, but it's like a nice hobby, you know. I like talking, to be honest, even if no one's listening. Which I don't mind. I want people to listen, so that's why I'm making these videos. Listen to what I have to say, you know. Um, it can be bad, you know. People with introvertism, you know, who are introverted, are you'll definitely never know. I'll be honest. You could kind of tell sometimes when you know someone who doesn't really like to go out, or you know, flaking. I know, people hate flaking, but you gotta understand, you know, social anxiety is really bad. It sucks. And some people have it, you know, some people just genuinely don't give a fuck and they don't keep their word, you know, but you gotta give us you gotta let us catch a break, you know, for us introverts. It's tough. Um it takes a lot for me to leave my house, honestly, or to like do anything. Um I have been out places before, of course, you know. I'll be honest. Um, there's certain coworkers that I really fuck with, and some that I like decently fuck with, like acquaintances basically, and then some of them are like homies. So sometimes it depends on who's going to certain things, and it's like, oh, these guys are going. I love those guys, or these guys are going. They're kind of new. I don't really know them, so it's like, oh no, I think I'll pass this time. Or sometimes I'm just genuinely busy with my daughter, and I feel like that's why I had more time to go out with my buddies because responsibilities. And I feel like having responsibilities really helped me break my shell. Keeping your mind set to something, or keeping your mind busy, like important things that you have really kind of override the introvertism, or well, how would you say it, the social anxiety, because it's like, oh, I don't want to go to the store, or I don't want to go do this, but I have to because my daughter needs food, milk, diapers. I have to go buy stuff. Or my friends. Sometimes I give my friend a ride to the store because he doesn't drive yet, and sometimes I don't want to, but then again, it's like I see it as like a responsibility. Who else is gonna take them? And yeah, when I view it like that, it really motivates me more to do it. It's like, oh, if I don't do it, he's not gonna get what he needs, and that's my buddy. So yeah, motivation and responsibilities come into play a lot when it comes to social anxiety. It really helps me. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm not as bad as I used to be. When I was younger, it was really bad. I did not want to go anywhere at all. I hated talking to people. I always wanted to be home in my own space, watching videos on YouTube, or it's honestly just really bad, because my buddies were always wanting to hang out with me, and it's I don't understand what the problem was at the time. Like, I really was super nervous even around my own friends, and I get really socially awkward. I slur my words sometimes. I look other directions because that's a sign as well of social anxieties when you can't look the person in the eye that you're talking to, which I tend to do a lot. And I guess some people, you know, it doesn't bug them, but I feel like that would bug me. And which is why I feel bad a lot of times when I'm interacting with people, interacting with customers sometimes. Or I kind of hate myself sometimes because I get really awkward when I have to talk to people. Um, mainly new people too, like people I just met, or like when there's new coworkers, I usually don't talk to them because it's like I'm a little nervous most of the time. I'm like the type of person you have to kind of break my shell and really get to know me before you talk with me. Um, unless we happen to click, I love people I can have things in common with. If like let's say someone came up to me like, hey, how's it going, bro? You play video games or something? Like you got a PC setup? You do things that I like, then that shit really fucking hooks me. I'm like, oh shit, bro, you play Souls, or you play you're a PC gamer too, bro. Maybe we should link up and play sometime. I love it. And honestly, a lot of people these days aren't like that. Yeah, it's hard to find people like me, which is also why I emphasized how appreciative I am for the friends I have now. I have a lot in common with the friends I have now and my coworkers, and we all play video games, which makes it easy on me. It's not super fucking awkward, and there's something there to talk about. But yeah, I've had quite a bit of experiences. There's a lot of things I've missed out on as well due to my social anxiety. There's so many things I missed out on: family events, birthdays, and honestly, I think those people that I wasn't there for are I feel like they feel a certain way about me now these days. But And sometimes it really makes me feel like shit when I just think about like how I didn't go to certain things, and especially if they're important things. And it's like, dang, I just in my head, and it gets worse sometimes. And it's like I feel like they are just hating me, even though they're probably not. But it's like, damn, he probably fucking hates me now because I didn't go to this or I didn't go to that, or I'm probably gonna look bad now because I said I would, but that was just like in the heat of the moment, and I tend to flake a lot because of that reason, because I'm just so nervous a lot, which is why I would smoke a lot, man. It's just like it really did help, but I'm trying not to smoke as much anymore. Of course, I have a daughter now, so honestly, ever since she was born, I barely ever smoked. I haven't really smoked at all. Maybe a Benjamin, like here and there and everywhere, but like barely even that though. I Most of the time I pass, and it's for the best, in my opinion. It's been nice. Um, I could definitely see some differences and some changes in me after like when I was smoking and compared to now when I'm not smoking as much anymore. It really helped a lot, and because I feel like that's another reason why I was super socially awkward, because weed would help my social anxiety, but then it would also make me lazy as well. So it was like, damn, I'm not really anxious anymore, but now I don't feel like going anywhere anyways, because I'm faded as fuck and I want to be home. Um, and a lot of my friends don't really smoke anyway. Like my friend group does, but a lot of my coworkers and acquaintances and people that I know just don't smoke. It's not really something that they do. Drinking, yeah, some of them smoke, and some of them like they do gummies and stuff like that. Um, but there is a lot of people in my department that I work at who do play games that I like to play. I do have a lot in common with them, but they're just honestly, they're probably just as worse as me. They're probably just as socially awkward, just as introverted as me. You know, I was talking with this one guy from my job once, talking about Slay the Spire, talking about some Souls games, basically exact games that I play, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, we could probably play sometime if you're down, and of course they never hit me up, or it's just a bunch of like bunch of hollow words, like yeah, sure, man, I'll hit you up, or maybe if I see you live, or not live, if I see you like online in the Discord, I'll see if you want to play, and it never happens, of course. But I don't blame anyone because I'm just as worse too. If someone were to come up to me, to be honest, asking me if I wanted to play, randomly, and I didn't know who this guy was, I would, you know, do the same thing. I probably wouldn't end up, just to save face, I'll probably just say yes, of course, but in reality, that's never happening. Because I got my friend group that I like to play with, and they like games that I like, so um, school was really rough too. I think I was talking about that already. The stoner friends who were really there for me. A lot of people like to judge stoners. Um, don't, honestly. They're cool. And, um, yeah, they were really helping me out trying to, when I was trying to get through middle school at least. I wish I still kept in contact with some of them, but they are busy. And I have them followed, of course, on social media. I know them still. If they're watching this video somehow, some way, you know who you are, and just know you're a core memory. You're a core element to my life, you guys. And if any of my coworkers happen to watch this video too, just know I love you guys. And it's not because I don't like you guys. I'm just super socially awkward, and I honestly just dread going places. Usually half the things in my mind are just gaming, girlfriend, home. Gaming, girlfriend, home. Maybe fucking food too, because I'm a fucking fat little chud sometimes, but it's fine. Um, I just really want to touch on this topic because I feel like it's important to spread awareness, you know, because from my experience as being an introvert, people are super judgmental, you know, and it sucks. And it makes me emotional sometimes when I talk about it because they think that you just don't like them, you know, or they think that you're a flaker, you know, and sometimes we don't even have the balls to say we're just too nervous, you know, or too socially anxious to really just say what's on our mind, you know, like, hey, you know, I don't feel comfortable going this time around, you know, or and yeah, basically flaking, and it sucks, but running out of time for this video now, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, or whoever decides, or whoever comes across this video. Much love to you guys, and thank you for watching. Cheers.